All right, well, let's jump into just some updates first before we get into some main titles, including Green Mile. So we talked about Green Mile in 4K. It was coming out. This always gets compared to Shawshank Redemption and so on. And it's funny to me that out of the blue, a super duper special collector's edition is coming out for the Green Mile.
This one comes with a mouse.
I think it's pretty crazy that this is getting the treatment that it's getting and Shawshank did not.
I don't give a shit.
It's coming in a steelbook now from Best Buy, but then there's this collector's edition that you can buy from Warner Brothers. They've got, lobby cards, they've got a booklet, they've got a nice outer box, they've got all this kind of stuff that's going along with it. Mm-hmm. And then Zavvy's got the exact same one in the UK, but they're going to have this steelbook inside of it.
I mean, I know people who like The Green Mile, and it's not a trash movie by any stretch of the imagination, but does it warrant all this? I'm struggling to figure out who the audience is to get these special editions for this movie. Like when I think of The Green Mile,
I already pre-ordered it.
Honestly, the first thing I think of The Green Mile is like, hey, my mom likes that.
You won't kiss my ass?
It's not The Thing. It's not Evil Dead. Like, who is really clamoring?
I got the steelbook version because I do think this steelbook looks nice. It looks like a nice case. Yeah. I mean, it's a nice set overall.
Within the first 3 comments, it's like, why didn't Shawshank get this treatment?
Exactly. That's what it is. But everyone probably feels the exact same way.
I do. If they did this for Shawshank Redemption,
you'd have been in.
It too.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
I'm not going to be buying the Green Mile, but...
So the Green Mile, out in March. Get that collector's edition if you dare. Another update from a previous story, American Werewolf in London in 4K. So we covered that bust, if you recall. There was a bust edition that Zavvi was putting out, and bundled with it was a 4K box set of American Werewolf in London. And it was literally the same box as the Blu-ray before it. It just had that HDR, Ultra HD sticker on there. Mm-hmm. And at the time, there wasn't any announcement about a separate release, and it's going to be released just as we expected in that exact same box set version, except that it's just going to be 4K instead.
Fuck.
We went on a tangent one day about how amazing it was with I Spit on Your Grave. Offered the option, if you picked up this special edition, we'll replace the disc for $20. You can keep that.
Yep.
If they would do that, if Arrow or Zavvi would do that for American Werewolf in London, especially when it's literally the same exact packaging I already have of this
exact
movie,
same packaging,
I would upgrade with buying the disc only. I'm not dropping 40-some.
You promise?
The Blu-ray looks great.
No, I agree. They're trying to capture like the market of people that didn't get it the first time. It's like, oh, this is for me.
This is a title.
But
this is a title. The people who really wanted it, they
already got it. Yeah,
there's nobody who was left out.
No.
No one missed out on it. This is American Werewolf in London.
If you're not going to update the packaging or do anything new, you should just offer the disc.
Yeah.
Like that should just be it. Don't make people pay $50 to get it.
Because honestly, even if it was new artwork, new packaging, new features, I still would be torn on upgrading it from Blu-ray to 4K. Like,
I don't know if you remember early on when we first started doing this channel, we talked about a company called Turbine in Germany. They were actually the first people to put out American Werewolf in London in 4K. And if you were somebody that was waiting for that in 4K, the Turbine one is a completely different looking package. It's red. It's got different insides. It's got different posters. So if you're like, hey, I got to have one of these in 4K, but I don't want to rebuy the exact same thing again, that Turbine one is pretty nice. You could at least have that one in 4K and your Blu-ray Arrow one still be on your shelf.
Yes, that's right.
As a companion piece to that, American Werewolf in Paris in 4K is also being put out by Turbine in that same day. So it comes out, actually it's already out, January 21st.
I remember when this came out, 97, and I was a big Before Sunrise fan.
Oh, you love that Julie Delpy.
I love Julie Delpy.
Come on, Julie.
And it was so trash. I watched the first 5 minutes of it, knowing it was going to be terrible. Like, there's no John Landis. There's that. Come on, like
what was that Bush song that went with it?
I know. I
what was
that.
it?
It was
Mouth.
Your mouth.
Not good. I actually never saw.
Why did you even bring this up?
I mean, I never saw this. I just thought it was funny that this is getting 3 limited digibooks in 4K. Also, they're limited to like 1,000 each.
They're doing. They're preying on younger people who weren't around back then and are completists. It's like they're just looking at it like, oh, that was part 2.
Yep.
And like, nah, this was
part trash.
Skip it.
Skip it.
Skip it. If you
Yeah.
are unaware, skip it.
Just skip it. I am probably going to get that American Werewolf in London in 4K. I've never bought any of them. I've been like a pseudo fan of that movie for a little while. I mean, I agree. And I haven't seen it as an adult for sure. And I feel like I'm going to probably enjoy it so much more.
Dude, it's so much more of a punk rock movie. The vibe.
It's
It's
raw.
just such it is. It's like it's dark for what it is. And dude, it's brilliant. Still one of my favorite endings.
One last update for all you Pirates of the Caribbean fans out there. The Curse of the Black Pearl was coming out in 4K finally, and then at the same time, we noticed that in Australia, they were putting all of them out in nothing fancy. It was just like all the discs and just like a big MRA case probably, but at least all the films were coming out in 4K. Japan put out a legit box set for these movies in 4K. If anybody was interested in getting that, there's kind of like a nice wraparound box. There's all the individual films in their own separate sleeves. It looks decent. There's no tchotchkes or anything, but there wasn't in any of these other releases. You were just getting it in an Amaray case versus this kind of nice little house that all of them come in. So
if this came out before all the Amber Heard stuff, that box would have Johnny Depp all over it.
you think so?
Yeah.
The outside case
that
would?
Johnny Depp is kind of toxic and
Really?
Like, let's make this black box.
If you were somebody that wanted a nice, rigid Johnny Deppless box on your shelf, this is the one for you straight out of Japan because they know.
Japanese hate Johnny
They
Depp.
do.
I'm Captain Jack Sparrow.
A lot of people were commenting that the 4K release of Black Pearl, that the transfer wasn't any good. I looked at the screens and it looks worse. I agree with that person that was making those comments. It looks less sharp. It looks a little bit more drab, like the color. I don't know. It almost looks like it should have been the reverse what I was looking at, but it wasn't. It did not look good from what I saw, and I saw a lot of comments on people saying the exact same thing. So
Amber Heard transfer?
buyer beware. Yeah, it was Amber Heard. She was tinkering. She doesn't want Johnny Depp to succeed in any way.